is, however, a reflection of the times we find ourselves in, and we must have the courage to listen and to move through that pain and discomfort. As an independent expert, as my predecessor, I've always strived to fulfill the role of an impartial and informed witness. The perception of impartiality has been a consistently contentious aspect of this mandate since its inception, drawing regular accusations of bias. But impartiality has become a pompous word for indifference and an elegant name for ignorance. The way I see it instead is an obligation to investigate and establish the facts objectively, reparation for what it has been caused to the Palestinians, and allow the safe return of the forcibly displaced. And now concrete steps must be taken. Humanitarian organizations must be supported and allowed to do their urgent work in Gaza and beyond. The UN should be supported and protected from the unprecedented assault that Israel has unleashed against the organization in all its manifestations, not just special rapporteurs, but also the General Assembly, the International Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court, the Secretary General, UNRWA, and all other organizations operating in the occupied Palestinian territory. Palestinians displaced, those selling Palestinian land from the comfort of their homes in Montreal and Toronto, must be held accountable for their and so too must companies that are profiting from the unlawful occupation and this genocide, including banks and pension funds. They must be held accountable. I was shocked to learn as I came to Canada, and it's all reported. I mean, this is written black and white. La Caisse des dépôts et déplacements du Québec has $14 billion invested in 87 businesses, unlawful businesses operating in the occupied Palestinian territory. Strategic litigation is needed. So all the lawyers, have to be mobilized, and resources must be reoriented, because justice starts here. Drawing from the work of an intellectual giant, Palestinian scholar Edward Said, we must also confront what is an endemic problem in the West, with its legacy of colonization and imperialism. That is the imposition of history, a narration that is written from the colonized and the oppressed by the colonizer and the oppressor, while present and past are reordered in a narrative that is convenient to imperial powers. And I quote, "What's more truly frightening," Said used to say, "is the defacement, the mutilation, and ultimately the eradication of history in order to create one that is favorable," end of quote, in this case to Israel, and all those who support it. We have to speak accurately and coherently in calling this what it is, a genocide, an unlawful occupation, and apartheid, and we must act accordingly. We have to reject the framing that asks us to understand the situation as a chronic humanitarian crisis to be managed, as it has long been done with Palestine, in campuses across the globe, including at this institution, where it stood tall, endured legal action, and lasted 2 long months. Thank you for that. It is you, the students, who have risked and are risking your futures to take a stand where too few would. The students gave to the Palestinians a rare sense of being truly seen, of their struggle being heard, of the possibility amidst incredible suffering that their humanity was understood and it was shared. And I think you remember the thank you that the kids were writing on the roof of their tents. It will stay with us forever. And while this action would not have happened but for the courage of the Palestinians themselves, who have been forced by circumstances to be the truth tellers of their own unfolding tragedy. It must be acknowledged that it is the young people who are the ones who have so readily understood the interconnectedness of the struggles. It stands in contrast to responses of our institutions of power, whether it be political leadership in the West and too many states in the global South too, or the academic institutions that equip you, young people, with the knowledge to mold your collective futures, our collective future. It is the same institutions which teach human rights and history in the classroom that are the ones suppressing the real and concrete actions, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, the right to education of the students advocating for human rights for the Palestinians in the most vulnerable and dark time of their collective life, which masks itself as warring virtue, love of country and faith in an idea. That is what we have to reject. So I urge you to reignite the butterfly effect that swept from these campuses throughout the world, because alone we are frail like the wings of butterflies. But if we start flapping our wings in unison, together we will make a storm, and may justice be our storm.